Hello everyone, welcome to Voxer. In this video, we're going to discuss reading passage 1 of test 4th taken from academic book 18. We have already discussed first 3 tests of this particular book, that is 18. So if you haven't watched those videos, you should, but after watching this one. Without further ado, let's start. So if you have watched my previous videos, you know our routine, our ritual, how we start our passage. Yes, by reading the title of the passage. The title says green roofs. Okay, let me that is. So from the title, it's very difficult to say what kind of passage this will be about, but we can make some sort of, you can say, assumption like, or inference, like you can say these must be something related to roofs. Obviously we know what rooftop is, and green roof, I don't think so they will talk about paints. It may be about doing gardening on the roofs, like urban agriculture or sort of thing. But maybe the paragraph may entirely is about something else, but we don't have to worry about that because we are not here to guess what the paragraph is all about. The heading of the paragraph helps us to channel our vocabulary, to make our mind prepared to read that kind of information, so that it doesn't get bored. Because I heard a lot of students like complain that they feel bored if they read certain kind of information, like some students don't like to read about science, some students don't like to read about environmental topics, pollution topics. So it will help your mind to activate its vocabulary, or it will help it to align in that particular direction, so that it will not feel bored, it will when it will read the information. So I hope it is clear the purpose of the passage, reading passage, title of the passage. Now we will look at the questions. Questions are on the right hand side, but first look at the total number of questions. The total number of questions are from 1 to 13. So there are 13 questions. So the questions are on right hand side, questions 1 to 5. Now what we're going to do, we're going to look at the questions, make a strategy like how to solve this particular question, how to attempt these particular kind of questions, or go about these questions or this paragraph. So reading passage 1 has 5 paragraphs. So from the title it's quite clear that we have 5 paragraphs, like A, B, C, D, E. So we have these 5 paragraphs. So the type is paragraph contains information. So, and this is the most important thing to note, this you may use any letter more than once. So there are 5 questions, and how many paragraphs are there? Yes, there are 5 paragraphs, here it is written. So that means if there is if no paragraph gets repeated, we will have one answer for every paragraph. But because of this, there is like 99.99% chance that one alphabet or one letter will be repeated. It's not 100% because nothing in IELTS is absolute until or unless it is stated like that. So you may means you may or you may not. But if this is written, there is 99.99% chance that one letter will be repeated. So if that is the case, then at least one paragraph will have no answers in it. I hope it is clear. I'm just talking about these 5 questions, nothing else. Clear? Let's look at the remaining sets. 6 to 9. So this is our second set of questions. Complete the summary below, write one word only. So you have to be very careful, you have to find the blanks, but you cannot write more than one word. If you exceed this particular word limit, your answer will be marked as incorrect. 10 and 11, okay, and 12 and 13. So these are all again MCQs, but this is another type of MCQs. So here you have to pick two advantages, two options. So here it is written 2 letters, so you have to choose 2 letters. Again in this particular question also, let me change the color. So in this not red, let me pick this one. So you or let me do, yeah, let me pick this one. So again you have to pick 2 letters for this also. Clear? So here it is written which 2 things. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna make some strategy. So for these questions, there is only one strategy that you will use. So because these questions students find them difficult, reason because they are not in order. For example, your first question may be in B paragraph, second maybe in E paragraph, third maybe in A paragraph, fourth maybe in C paragraph. So there is no fixed order for these questions. So what we will do is sorry about that. So what we will do is we will like first read all these questions and try to understand the meanings of all the questions, and then after reading a paragraph we will go through this question and try to find out the answer if there is any. Clear? Similarly, we will read B paragraph, then we will go through these questions. Clear? Okay, and for blanks, now if you see the title of the blank says, or the heading of the blank is advantages of green roofs, but here there is only mention of sorry about that, there is only mention of green roofs. So wherever we will find the advantages of green roofs, we will read this particular question only then. Clear? Or we will read some like keywords, and if we are able to find those keywords, then we will read this question then. For example, let's read it. City rooftops covered with greenery have many advantages. Again, advantages of city rooftops covered with greenery. So we were thinking along the same lines. These include lessening the likelihood of floods will occur, reducing how much money is spent on. So reducing the amount of money spent on something, okay, and flood. So wherever we will find these kind of information, then we will read the blank again. 11th and 12th. So which two advantages of using newer buildings for green roofs are mentioned? Okay, so here we have given the location directly. So this question is in paragraph C. So in paragraph A and B, we don't have to worry about these questions. And 12 and 13, which two of the variations on the concept of green roofs are mentioned? Okay, this particular question is given in paragraph E. So we don't have to worry about these questions until and unless these paragraphs come along. So for example, after reading A and B paragraph, we know for sure that 10 and 11 will be in paragraph C. So before reading paragraph C, we will read these questions or these particular options. And before reading paragraph E, we will read these options. Clear? But before that, like before reading A and B, we don't have to worry about paragraph C. I hope it is clear. Now we're going to read these questions. I'm going to try to make you understand if there is any similarities or differences between one or more questions. Two or more questions, sorry for that. Mention of several challenges to be overcome before a green roof can be installed. So in whichever paragraph there will be mention of several challenges. So several challenges just means more than one, like two or more challenges that we have to overcome before we can install a green roof. Like if you want to turn your rooftop into a green rooftop, so there are some several challenges, like two or three or maybe more, two or more than two challenges that you have to overcome. Clear? That two or more problems that you have to solve so that you can install these kind of roofs. Clear? Second question, reference to a city where green roofs have been promoted for many years. So there will be a name of a place given where green roofs, they are in practice for many years. Like they have been promoted for many years. So maybe instead of many years, 10 years, 5 years, 20 years. So these kind of words can also be paraphrased. A belief that, third question, a belief that existing green roofs should be used as a model for the new ones. So there is a belief, like people believe, but they believe that existing green roofs, like the green roofs that are that are present now, they should be used as a model for new ones. So like before installing new ones, we should look at those. They should be our models to like implement the new techniques or new models. Fourth, examples of how green roofs can work in combination with other green urban initiatives. So there will be some examples given, again two or more than two, of how these particular roofs can work in combination. So in addition, to add, plus, something like that. These kind of words will be given with other green urban initiatives. So there may be other urban initiatives, green urban initiatives, and we can use green roofs in combination with them, like side by side, simultaneously. So something like that. Fifth, the need to make a persuasive argument for the financial benefits of green roofs. So we have a sorry about that. We have a need to make a persuasive argument. So persuasive argument means you are trying to convince people, like there are some financial benefits of green roofs. It's not like it's not only for the nature, but it is also good for your pocket also. So you have to convince common people that it is not only beneficial for nature but also for your pocket. Like it will save you some kind of money, or it will help you make money, something like that. Like saving money is making money, so maybe it's helping us to save some money in one form or the other. So if like that kind of information will be given in whichever paragraph, that paragraph will be answer of question number 5. I hope I'm able to clear all the questions. Now what we're going to do, we're going to read the A paragraph, and after reading the entire paragraph, for every set of questions, for example, after reading A paragraph, I will give you around 10 seconds to tell me if there is any answer from questions 1 to 5 in this paragraph or not. And for example, let's say we find advantages of green roofs here. So if for sixth question, again after finding the location, I will give you around 10 seconds to tell me the answer. Clear? But for these we know paragraph C and paragraph E is our location. Clear? Let's read the A paragraph now. Rooftops covered with grass, vegetable gardens and lush foliage are now a common sight in many cities around the world. Now it's quite common to see, so it's a common sight. It's quite common to see rooftops covered with grass, vegetable gardens and lush foliage in many cities around the world. So around the world, it has become a common practice. More and more private companies and city authorities are investing in green roofs, drawn to their wide ranging benefits. So now we know not only private companies but governments as well, they are investing in green roofs. Why? Because of their wide ranging benefits. So here we're talking about benefits and advantages of green roofs. So let's see if there any mention of flood or here or not. Among the benefits are saving on energy cost, mitigating the risk of floods. So here it is. So we have found the location, but first we will read the paragraph. So what are the benefits? Saving on energy cost. Okay, we are saving energy cost, money. We are saving money. We are mitigating the risk of floods. We are making habits for urban wildlife and tackling air pollution and even growing food. So these are the benefits that like stand out. First, financial benefit. There will be like no risk of floods, habitats for wildlife. Fourth is tackling pollution, and fifth is growing food. These increasingly radical urban designs can help cities adapt to the monumental problems they face, such as access to resources and a lack of green space due to development. So these radical urban designs, though they are radical designs, but they can help cities. Help cities to adapt to the monumental problems they face. Okay, like for example, access to resource and a lack of green space. But the involvement of city authorities, businesses and other institutions is crucial to ensuring their success. But it's not like people can do this particular thing on their own. It's very important that government, city authorities, businesses and other institutions also get involved, so that it can become a success. As is research investigating different options to suit the variety of rooftop spaces found in the cities. The UK is relatively new to developing green roofs, and local governments and institutions are playing a major role in spreading the practice. So now we're talking about UK. It's relatively a new player in this particular field in developing green roofs, and local governments and institutions, they are playing a major role in spreading the practice. London is home to much of the UK's green roof market, mainly due to forward-thinking policies such as London Plan, which has paved the way to more than doubling the area of green roofs in the capital. So London, it's the prime example because of the plan called or policy called London Plan, and it has paved the way, made the way for more than double the area of green roofs in the capital. Clear? So London is the capital of England, so they're talking about that particular thing. I hope the paragraph is clear. Now you will have around 10 seconds to tell me which, if there is any answer or answers in paragraph A from questions 1 to 5, and the time starts now. Okay, time's up. So if you need more time than that, you can pause the video, and when you're ready with your answer, you can continue. Okay, let's read the options together now. Is there any mention about several challenges that we have to overcome before we can install green rooftops or green roofs? No. Yes, there is mention of several challenges that, like, we have a lack of green space, but they are not challenges to be overcome to install green roofs. So there is no mention like that. Is there mention of a city where green rooftops or green roofs have been promoted for many years? Again, no, do not get confused. Yeah, London is mentioned, and it is also mentioned with regard to green roofs, but it is a new player in town. It's like there is the practice is not being promoted for many years, so it's a new player. So for many years it doesn't justify, so it cannot be our answer as well. Third, is there any mention about a belief of existing green roofs that we can use as a model for new ones, building new ones? No. Again, there is mention of new ones in London, okay, but it is not mentioned anywhere in the paragraph that these are the green roofs and they can be used as a model to make new or more green roofs. So this is not mentioned here. Fourth, is there any mention of any examples like we can combine green roofs with other green urban initiatives? No. Fifth, the need of persuasive argument for the financial benefits of green roofs. Again, no, this is not our answer. Do not get confused. Yeah, there is mention of here saving on energy cost. Let me do this. So here is the mention of saving on energy cost, but it is not saying we have to make this argument to convince people. So these are just listed as the benefit, not a purchase. There is no persuasive argument like it will help us to save money because this. No, there is nothing like that. There is no argument given, no reasoning given. Okay, no, you can say discussion is like discussion is there. So this cannot be our answer. So you have to be very careful about the distractor words. You can say the traps, because many students will say energy cost, save energy cost, that is a financial benefit. A option they will mark as an answer. No. So I hope you all understood that from question 1 to 5 we do not have any answer in this particular paragraph. Now we will read sixth question. Why? Because we have found the locator words in this particular paragraph. City rooftops covered with greenery have many advantages. Let me change the color. Yeah, we have read here wide range. Uh, Again, we have read here wide ranging benefits, many advantages. These include lessening means reducing the likelihood of floods, mitigating the risks of flood, reducing how much money is spent on blank, and creating environments that are suitable for wildlife, making habitats for urban wildlife. So again here we have to find what we are reducing money that is spent on something. So let me just take a look. So that means our answer, what is happening to my mouth, just one second guys. So our answer is in this particular sentence here. Our answer is in this particular sentence, and you will have around 10 seconds to tell me the answer, and the time starts now. And remember, you have to pick one word only, do not pick more than one word. And time starts now. Okay, time's up, and the answer to this particular question is yes, energy. I hope everybody was able to find out this answer. But if not, don't worry, I'm gonna explain. Just let me write down the location first. Give me 1 second. So let's see how we arrived at this. So they're saying that reducing how much money is spent on. So we have to find out something on which we are spending less money. So here they're saying, let me, okay. Here they're saying saving on energy cost. So again, you're saving money on energy cost. So obviously you are spending less money on energy. I hope it is clear. Let's see the seventh if this is given in this paragraph or not. In many cases, they can also be used for producing. So, what kind of word do you think should be here? Yeah, producing something. So, it can be anything, but we are producing that particular thing. Let's see. Tackling air pollution and even growing food. So, yeah, our answer is in this particular sentence. I am not gonna here. Again, answer is in this particular sentence. I'm not gonna paraphrase too much right now because otherwise you will find the answer directly. So you have to use your own brain for this, and the time starts now. Okay, time's up, and the answer to this particular question is yes, food. uh, Let me write it again. I hope you were able to find this particular answer where it is written here. Just so this is our answer. Question 7. So how we arrived at this particular answer? Yes. So here, let me do this. So they're saying in many cases they can be used for producing, and here they have said growing. So we can grow food, or you can say produce food. I hope it is clear how we arrived at this particular answer. Let's see if eighth question is, because a lot of paragraph is remaining. Eighth question is here or not. There are also social benefits. No. So wherever we will find social benefits of green roofs, then we will read eighth question. Because in this we have only talked about the like financial benefits or uh, places in London it has been used. So there is no mention of social benefits. So again, when we will read social benefits, we will read this particular question now. Now, do we need to read 10th, 11th, or 12th, 13th? No, because these answers are in C and these are in E paragraph. So let's read B paragraph now. Ongoing research is showcasing how green roofs in cities can integrate with living walls, environmentally friendly walls which are partially or completely covered with greenery, including a growing medium such as soil or water. So now we're saying that there is an ongoing research, or there are ongoing research. There is an ongoing research that shows like how we can use green roofs in cities to integrate with living walls. What I mean by this, or what the writer means by this, is that these are the environmentally friendly walls that are partially or completely covered with greenery. So you might have seen some walls on which there's plants that are grown on that particular wall. So these include growing medium also. Let me do this again. So these include growing medium also, like soil or water. Research also indicates that green roofs can be integrated with drainage systems on the ground, such as street trees, so that the water is managed better and built environment is made more sustainable. And there is also one possibility indication that these green roofs they can be integrated with drainage systems on the ground. like street trees. So the water that you want to drain, you can give it to the street trees, so that water is managed in a better way and the environment is more sustainable. There is also evidence to demonstrate the social value of green roofs. Now we're talking about the social value of green roofs. Doctors are increasingly prescribing time spent gardening outdoors for patients dealing with anxiety and depressions. So what doctors are suggesting is that you should go for gardening, or you should do gardening if you are dealing with anxiety and or depression. So if you are dealing with these kinds of problems, you should spend time gardening outdoors. And research has found that cases to even the most basic green spaces can provide sorry and research has found that access to even the most basic green space can provide better quality of life for dementia sufferers and help people avoid obesity. So these are also the benefits for people if they go to any green space or do gardening or something like that. I hope the paragraph is clear. Now you will have around 10 seconds to tell me whether there is any answer or answers from question 1 to 5 in paragraph B, and the time starts now. Okay, time's up. Now let's read the questions together. Is there any mention about several challenges to overcome? No, there is no mention about that. Is there any mention to a city where it has been used for many years? Again, there is no mention of that. Again, is there any mention that we can use the present green roofs to make newer ones? Again, there is no mention of making new ones or something like that. Fourth, are there any examples of we can how we can use green roofs with other green urban initiatives? Yes, there is. So answer to this particular paragraph is question 4. Answer is paragraph B. Now, can you tell me where it is? Where are these written? Yes, yes. Let me mark it here first. So here they are saying that how green roofs can integrate. So integrate means combine with living walls environmentally. So then we have explained what living walls are: environmentally friendly walls with covered with greenery. So this is your, you can say, first example. Let me mark it here, then I will copy it. Just give me 1 second. This is question 4, first part. And where is the second example? Yes, here. Also means +1 indicates that green roofs can be integrated. Again, integrate means yes, combine drainage system on the ground, so that we can so we can do this particular thing. So this is the second. I hope it is clear. So these are our other green urban initiatives that we are combining with green roofs. Clear? Now, do we need to read question 8 or 9? Oh, first, do we need to read question number 8? Yes. Why? Because here they are talking about, just 1 second. Yeah, here they are talking about social value of green roof. So social value, social benefits of green roof. So if something has a social value, obviously it is beneficial. So you cannot say something like if it is negative to society, it has a social value. No, it doesn't have a social value. For example, the medical professional. So medical professional, have we read anything about medical profession? Yes, here doctors. Medical profession recommends, prescribe. Let's see. For example, the medical profession recommends blank as an activity to help people cope with mental health issues. So they are recommending something as an activity. So obviously, what kind of word do you think will be here? Yes, there will be some word related to some kind of activity. Recommend something as an activity. So something, basically some game or some activity will be mentioned here, so that it can help people to cope with mental health issues. Let's see. Doctors are increasingly prescribing time spent gardening outdoors for patients with dealing with anxiety and depression. So anxiety, patients dealing with this, people coping with mental health issues. So obviously our answer is in this particular sentence. For that you have around 10 seconds to tell me what should be our answer, and the time starts now. Okay, time's up, and the answer to this question is yes, gardening. I hope you were able to identify this particular answer. If not, don't worry, we will see why this is our answer, how we arrived at it. But just give me 1 sec to mark this particular question, to write the location and answer in the blank. Now here they are saying medical profession recommends. So for that we have doctors prescribing. What they are prescribing? Time spent gardening outdoors. Okay, so gardening outdoors, we cannot use obviously more than one word. So we have to write gardening. So outdoors will not be considered as any activity. So we are doing activity outdoors. Again, mental health issues we have already established, that means anxiety and depression. I hope it is clear. Let's read the ninth question now. Studies have also shown that availability of green spaces can prevent physical problems. So availability of green spaces, they can prevent. Prevent means stop or lessen something. Prevent, but they can stop physical problems such as. So such as, what kind of word do you think should be here? Something or someone? Yeah, something. Physical problems such as ABC, though it should be some kind of problem mentioned here. Let's see. And research has found that access to even availability of green spaces, access to even most basic green spaces can provide better quality of life for dementia sufferers and help people avoid obesity. So obviously the location is this for our answer. Let me do this so that you can easily able to identify. Okay, so this is the location of our answer. This is the sentence where our answer lies in. So you have around 10 seconds. The time starts now. Okay, time's up, and the answer to this particular question is yes, obesity. I hope you were able to find this particular answer. If not, don't worry. As always, I will explain why this is our answer, how we arrived at it. Just give me 1 sec. Now, here, if you have written dementia, so this is not a physical problem. You have to be very careful about that. This is related. Okay, this is not a physical problem. So what is physical problem? And here they're saying prevent, and here they're saying avoid. Obesity. I hope it is clear. Now moving on to the C paragraph, and now before reading the C paragraph, we will read this particular question, or what you can do is read the C paragraph, then go to this particular question and then try to find out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read the C paragraph first so that you do not get confused. Reading this, after reading the C paragraph, we will see if there is any answer or answers here in this or not, and then we will read the 10th 11th question. Clear? So let's read the C paragraph for now. In North America, green roofs have become mainstream with a wide array of expensive, accessible, and food-producing roofs installed in buildings. So now we're talking about North America. Here we were talking about London, but here we're talking about North America. So green roofs, they are saying that they have become mainstream. So they have become mainstream, and they are producing roofs, food on these buildings. Again, city leaders and authorities have helped push the movement forward only recently. Now, only recently this particular movement was pushed forward, but not like it is not ongoing for a long time. It has been just a recent development. San Francisco, USA created a policy requiring new buildings to have green roofs. So they have just created this particular policy that new buildings will have green roofs. Toronto, Canada has policies dating from 1900s encouraging the development of urban farms on rooftop. But if you talk about Toronto in Canada, they had the policy, this particular city has the policy from 1990s, in which they are encouraging companies or the like buildings to develop urban farm on rooftops. These countries also benefit from having newer buildings than in many parts of the world, which makes it easier to install green roofs. Another thing is these countries, because they are like they have newly built buildings, and other parts like ancient cities they have old buildings, so it is easier for these cities like which are newly made, in the sense of like maybe 200 300 years ago, 400 years ago. But in many cities around the world they are built like 2000 years ago, 5000 years ago, 1000 years ago, something like that. So they, it's not possible to make green roofs there. Being able to keep enough water at roof height and distribute it right across the rooftop is crucial to maintaining the plants on any green roof, especially on edible roofs where fruits and vegetables are farmed. So, the basic challenge is we have to keep enough water at roof height and we have to distribute it around the roof, across the roof, so that we can give it to the plants, especially on the edible roofs where we are farming vegetable and fruit. And it's much easier to do this in newer building which can typically hold greater weight and than to retrofit old ones. So obviously it's easier to do on new buildings than old buildings. Having a stronger roof also makes it easier to grow a greater variety of plants since the soil can be deeper. So they have stronger roofs than newer buildings obviously, so it's easier to grow greater variety of plants because soil can be deeper. So because we can put a lot of soil on the roof, because it is strong, it will not crumble again, against that kind of weight. But old buildings, they were not that strong, you cannot put that much pressure on them, because in the olden times we didn't have such kind of problem because population was not that high like right now. So and life expectancy was also not that high, so people usually lived 30 around 30 40 years of age at most, I believe. So whatever the case is, old buildings are not suitable for this. Clear? Now you have around 10 seconds to tell me if there is any answer or answers in this particular paragraph, and the time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's read the options together. Sorry about that. Let's read the questions together. Is there any mention about challenges that we have to overcome before we want to install green roofs? No, there is no mention of such challenges. Is there any mention of a city where it has been promoted for many years, like green roofs are promoted for many years? Yes, there is. So the answer to this particular paragraph question is paragraph C, where it is written here, Toronto, Canada, because from 1990s, so from many for many years, this particular activity has been promoted. Let's see if any other answer is here or not. Is there anything like we can use this particular model to build newer models? No such information is mentioned, and there is no mention about financial benefits, and we have to make some convincing argument. There is nothing like this also. I hope it is clear. Now moving on to 10th and 11th question. So let's read the questions first. Which two advantages of using newer buildings for green roofs are mentioned in paragraph C? Now we have to talk about just one second guys, let me okay. Now we have to talk about the advantages of using newer buildings for green roofs. So we have read something like that. First, a longer growing season for edible produce. So there is a longer season for edible produce. So produce means fruits and vegetables. So this particular word, if you are pronouncing it as produce, so you are producing something, making something. But if you pronounce it as produce, so emphasize on the first syllable, produce, so we are talking about fruits and vegetables. B, more economical use of water. If we're talking about using water more economically, then B will be our answer. One of our answers, you can say greater water storage capacity. If we're talking about greater water storage capacity, C, ability to cultivate more plant types. So we have ability to cultivate more plant types, and E says a large surface area for growing plants. So we have more area for growing plants. If that is the case, then E will be our answer. Let's see where are the advantages written. uh, 1 second, guys. So here, and it is much easier to do this in newer buildings. Okay, so this is given here, which can typically hold greater water weight and then retrofit ones, and having stronger roof, easier to grow greater variety of plants. So these are the advantages given here. So to tell me which options are best suited for them, you have around 10 seconds for this, and time starts now. Okay, time's up. And let me first mark the answers. We will see why these are the answers, and then we will see why other options are not our answer. And the answers are, which options? Two options have you marked? Yes, one is C and other is D. Greater water storage capacity, ability to cultivate more plant types. So let me do this. So just give me 1 second. Let me put it closer to the location so that you will be able to understand it better. And okay, now let me tell you if you were not able to identify these answers. So here they have said it can hold greater weight. So it can hold greater weight of water. Now greater water storage capacity. Clear? And now here they're saying easier to grow greater variety of plants, ability to cultivate, basically grow more plant types, greater variety of plants. Let's see whether options can be our answer. There is no mention that we can grow more fruit or more edible fruit because it will prolong the season. More economical use of water, there is no mention about that. And large area, surface area for growing plants. No, we are just talking about greater variety of plants, not greater surface area for plants. I hope it is clear why CD is our answer. Now, these answers will be in E paragraph, so we don't have to worry about that. The answers. Now we will read D paragraph and see whether there is any answer or answers in this or not. D paragraph. Let's read it. For green roofs to become the new norm for new developments, there needs to be support from public authorities and private investors. So we're saying that if we want to make green roofs, oh, sorry about that. Let me change the color. So if we want to make green roofs the norm for new developments, like it should be a normal part of new development projects, we need support from public authorities and private investors, because without money it will not be possible to push these kind of developments. Those responsible for maintaining buildings may have to acquire new skills such as landscaping, and in some cases volunteers may be needed to help out. So if those who are responsible for maintaining buildings, they will have to acquire new skills. Acquire new skills mean, this particular thing means learning new skills such as landscaping. So they will have to learn these kind of skills. And sometimes we may need volunteers to help us because there may be shortage of staff, we may not have enough numbers with us, so we need volunteers. Other considerations include installing drainage paths, meeting health and safety requirements, and perhaps allowing access for the public as well as planning restrictions and disruption from regular activities in and around the building during installation. So what are these are the other problems that we have to take care about. To convince investors and developers that installing green roofs is worthwhile, economic arguments are still the most important. So if you want to convince investors and developers that we have to install green roof, like it is a worthwhile investment, you have to make economic arguments, because these arguments will be the most important arguments to convince them. The term natural capital has been developed to explain the economic value of nature. So that's why we have made a new term called natural capital, so that we can explain the economic value of nature. For example, measuring the money saved by installing natural solutions to protect against flood damage, adapt to climate change, or help people lead healthier and happier lives. So we are now measuring money saved against these things, installing natural solution to protect flood damage, climate change, and healthy and happier lives. So we are trying to convince people to install these projects in their buildings. I hope the paragraph is clear. Now you know the drill. You have around 10 seconds to tell me if there is any answer or answers in this or not. And the time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's read the options to questions together and see if there is any answer or answers to this or not. First, is there any mention about different challenges or various challenges we have to overcome before we can install green roofs? Yes, there is. The answer to this paragraph question is paragraph D, where it is written here. Those who responsible, they have first challenges, they have to learn new skills, and sometimes we need volunteers and other consideration. Other means more, furthermore, or more, but whatever you want to call it. So like these are like two things that we want. We have to learn new skills. People responsible for maintaining buildings, sometimes we may need volunteers, and apart from that, in addition, we need these things also. So these are the challenges that we have to overcome before we have to install green roofs. I hope it is clear. Let's see if there is any other answer in this. Third, is there any mention about a belief that yeah, these are the model for the newer ones? No, nothing like that. And fifth, the need, is there any about mention about persuasive, convincing argument about financial benefits? Yes, there is. And the answer to fifth is also paragraph D, where it is mentioned. Yes, here. Just let me mark the location, write the location. This is question 5. So here they are saying that to convince investors, economic arguments is important. So financial benefits, economic arguments. We are talking about like telling them, trying to convince them that there are some benefits. And then we have termed the natural term. So we have coined a term called natural capital, so that we can convince that these are the benefits. I hope it is clear. Let's move on to the E paragraph now. So in E paragraph, obviously we have only one question left, and we are pretty sure that we haven't read this particular question in from paragraph A to D. Okay, so this must be in E, but we will mark it. We can mark it as E if you want to save your time, but we will read this particular paragraph before marking it, because obviously we have to read these options as well. Clear? Now let's read the E paragraph now. As the expertise about green roofs grows, official standards have been developed to ensure that they are designed, constructed, and maintained properly and function well. So, as our expertise, as our knowledge about green roof grows, we are also developing official standards so that we can ensure that they are designed, constructed, and maintained properly and they function well. Improvements in the science and technology underpinning green roof development have also led to new variations in the concepts. So we have also made some improvements in science and technology in this particular department, and that because of that there is new variations in this particular concept. For example, blue roofs. Okay, now from green roofs we have developed blue roofs, enabling buildings to hold water over longer periods of time rather than draining it away quickly, crucial in times of heavier rainfall. So in blue roof we can hold water for longer period of time. Be very careful, we are talking about time period, not the amount of water. Is it not amount is not increased, time period is increased. Okay, rather than we are draining it quickly, so it's crucial for when there is heavier rainfall. There are also combinations of green roofs with solar panels and brown roofs which are wilder in nature and maximize biodiversity. Now we are pairing green roof with solar panels and with sorry about that, and with brown roofs. Okay, and these brown roofs have wilder, are in nature, and they maximize biodiversity. So obviously brown roofs, they have more types of plants or something like that. The biodiversity is diverse, there is more like availability of plants. If the trend continues, it could create new jobs and a more vibrant and sustainable local food economy alongside many other benefits. So if this particular trend it continues, it will not only create new jobs, but it will create a local food economy alongside many other benefits. These are there are still barriers to overcome. Obviously there are some problems we have to solve, but the evidence so far indicates that green roofs have the potential to transform cities and help them function sustainably long into the future. But so far whatever the evidence we have collected, it indicates that these green roofs, they have potential to transform, to change cities, and they help them to function in a sustainable manner even in the future. The success stories need to be studied and replicated elsewhere. So we need to study the success stories and then replicate elsewhere means apply elsewhere. We have to duplicate them elsewhere, like we have to use those methods elsewhere to make green, blue, brown and food producing roofs the norm in cities around the world, so that we can do these we can make these roofs a common sight around the world. Okay, I hope the paragraph is clear. Now, obviously, the answer will be in E paragraph of question number 3. But can you tell me the location of this? And the time starts now. Okay, time's up. First, let me write E here. So we know the answer is in E, but where? Yeah, in the last sentence itself. The success stories need to be studied and replicated elsewhere. Clear? So here they are also saying that believe that these green roofs should be used as model for new ones. Okay, so we can make these kind of things. Let me mark it completely. I hope it is clear why this is the answer. Let me do this. So this is in the last sentence itself. We have the answer to question number 3. Now, moving on to the last set of questions 12 and 13. Let's read these options. Which two aims of the new variations of the concept of green roofs are mentioned in the paragraph? Let me, yeah. So we have to talk about two aims. So our goals of new variations. So we have read about two variation. One was blue roof, another was, I believe, brown roofs, something like that. A option, to provide habitats for a wide range of species. Do we want to provide habitat for wide range of species? B, to grow plants successfully even in the wettest climate. So we want to grow plant even in those places where the climate is wettest, meaning to say there is a lot of rainfall. C, to regulate the temperature of the immediate environment. If we want to regulate the temperature, then C will be our answer. To generate power from sustainable source. If we want to generate power, maybe some kind of electricity, something like that, from sustainable source, then D will be our answer. to collect water to supply to other buildings. And if we want to collect water to supply to other buildings, then E will be our answer. Now let's see where it is written in the paragraph. So here, for example, blue roofs. Let me first do this. Okay. So for example, blue roofs enable buildings to hold water over longer periods of time rather than draining it away quickly, crucial in times of heavy rainfall. There are also combination of green roofs with solar panels and brown roofs, which are wilder in nature and this. So we are talking about green roofs. Let me do this. So we are talking about green roofs variation. So blue roofs, and here green roofs with solar panels and brown roofs. So this is our, like, look, let me do this. So the this is our location. So you have around 10 seconds to tell me in this particular. So let me minimize this in this particular sentence, and the time starts now. Okay, time's up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the correct answers, and then we will see why that those are answers are our correct answers and whether options are incorrect. And the correct options are A and D. I hope you got the correct answers. Where they are written here. First, green roof with solar panels and brown roofs which maximize biodiversity. Let me just write it here first. So here, A option, to provide habitats for a range of species. So range of species means maximum. Let me change the color. I think this color might not be visible in to on the screen. So let me change the color to blue only. Just 1 second, guys. Let me do this so that it's better visible, because I think it might not be visible clearly. Okay, now why where is written habitat for wide range of species here? And maximize biodiversity. So maximizing biodiversity means a wide range of species. Clear? And to generate power from sustainable source, green roof with solar panels. So solar panels are sustainable source of energy. Why? Because they use sunlight as a source of energy. Clear? And they obviously sunlight is so sustainable source of energy. Now, why other options are not our answer? Let's see that. There is no mention that about wettest climate. We are not talking about anything about trying to regulate temperature, and we are not collecting water to supply to other buildings. Here, the like this, you can say it's a distractor option, trap words. Why? Because here they are trying to talk about hold water over longer periods. So they're talking about enabling buildings to hold water for longer periods, but they are not talking about green roofs. They're talking about blue roofs, not combination with green roofs. So green roof with solar panels and green roof with brown roofs. I hope it is clear. And even if we, like, just say we assume that these must also be combination with green roofs, they are not supplying to other buildings. They are draining it quickly. And blue roofs are like preventing that particular thing from happening. They are not allowing the buildings, or they help us to store the water for a longer period of time. But when we drain the water, where it goes, to the street trees, to other buildings, we don't know about that in this particular scenario, so we cannot say anything for sure. That's why E option is not our answer. I hope it is clear. So this is how you should attempt. Let's see, we have done two options, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is how you should solve these kind of questions. So if you have any doubts in any particular question or questions, you should rewatch that part of the video again and again. And if it is still unclear, you can ask us in the comment section. We will be happy to help you. We will happily solve your queries. And if there are other videos also in my playlist, you can go and watch them also. It will help you to make your understanding better, so that in exam you don't have to worry about reading. You will know how to solve any particular kind of question without any problem. So and you can achieve your dream band score. So that's it for this video then. I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.